Hello everyone, today we will cook lasagna in 1 minute, 1 hour, and in 1 day. Time starts. In such a short time, the only thing that we can really do is heat it up in the microwave. We set the microwave for 55 seconds. And after that, the time's up. Let's try it. Theoretically, it's edible, but it feels like there is no meat in this lasagna. We will have 1 hour to prepare the next lasagna. Put the frying pan on the stove, add some oil, and fry up some ground beef. We break it up with a spatula so that it does not cook with one solid cutlet. As soon as it is fried to a beautiful color, open the ready-made bolognese sauce and pour the whole jar of sauce into the pan. Now you just have to mix this all up and reduce the sauce a little. Done. We will also use ready-made dough sheets for this lasagna. Well, where without cheese. Grate hard cheese and a coarse grater. Done. We also need a creamy sauce, and we start collecting the lasagna. We put a sheet of dough on the bottom, fill it with cream sauce, another sheet of dough. Next comes the minced meat, and we level it. Again, dough, sauce, grated cheese, dough, ground beef, and just like this, keep alternating the fillings until we collect the lasagna to the very top. We send all this into the oven, set it to the top and bottom mode at 200 degrees. That's it. At this point, the lasagna is completely ready in 1 hour. Let's cut off a piece. In my opinion, it turned out much more beautiful than the first lasagna. Let's try it. Yes, it is way tastier than the store-bought stuff. We will have a whole day to prepare the third lasagna. Let's start with vegetables. Carrot in half, and put it into slices. Then cut into strips, and dice into cubes. Celery too, first with strips. And dice into cubes. Cut a large onion in half. Make incisions from top to bottom. And cut into a small cube. Instead of ground beef, we will use beef ribs. We cut them so that each piece has one bone left and the meat around it. Well, the last thing you need to cut is bacon. With all this said, we go to the stove. And the first thing you need to fry is the ribs. We do this at the maximum power of the stove to quickly set the crust. And quickly turn it over to the other side. The crust on both sides is ready. Now we pour the ribs into a baking tray. Bacon is next in line. We send that into the frying pan. We need to melt the fat from it with a smoky flavor like this. And then fry our vegetables in this. Literally just 3 minutes and they become much more transparent. It's time to open up a bottle of red wine. And add it to the vegetables. We also open a jar of tomatoes and their own sauce and send that into the frying pan as well. All of this is salted and peppered. And mix it up. We put this into the baking tray as well. I decided to add a little bit more wine and seal the baking sheet with foil. We send all that into the oven. The meat has been languishing for 7 hours. It's time to get it out. We remove the foil. And now we take out all the pieces of meat from the foil. And put them into a bowl. And now we just remove their meat from the bones. They practically disappear with themselves. Done. Now using 2 forks, we tear the meat into fibers. All ready to return the fibers to the vegetables. And mix. Here we dust with a good Parmesan cheese. And mix it again. The main filling is ready. Let's move on to the dough. In a bowl, we pour some flour. Let's take a tray of eggs and break it into another bowl. The main thing is that all the yolks remain intact. And now we just separate out the proteins from the yolks. And do that for all 10 yolks. For taste, we salt. And for the elasticity of the dough, pour in some olive oil. And knead it all first with a spatula. And then with your hands. The kneaded dough is transferred to the saran wrap and wrapped up. We let them rest in the refrigerator for half an hour. After this time, we turn it back, once again, and press it again. And we cut it into 2 parts. We roll out each of them with a rolling pin to the state of such an oval. And with the help of a knife, we divide them in half. And now I need such a machine for rolling out dough. We direct our dough layer between the rollers and turn the handle. Now it's been run through once, so we reduce the distance between the rollers and roll it again. We keep doing this so that the dough becomes thinner and thinner. The main thing is to direct exactly so that the dough does not break on the rollers. And that way we'll have a really long and thin layer. We repeat the same thing with the rest of the dough pieces. Now you need to trim the sheets from all sides. Put a pot of water on the stove, and we send the dough into the boiling water. After 5 minutes, we take it out and put it on a paper towel. Dip the brush in olive oil and smear the dough around. We repeat all this for the rest of the sheets. And then, to make it convenient to collect lasagna, we put the dough on top of each other. That's why we lubricated them with oil so that they don't stick together right now. Now we turn to the bechamel sauce. We open up some butter, cut off 30 grams, set it into the saucepan and put it on the stove. It needs to be melted, after which we pour flour as a thickener and mix it up so that the butter is absorbed into the flour. We pour in 600 milliliters of milk. And immediately, with the help of a whisk, we dissolve the lumps of dough. For spices, we have nutmeg and salt. Now we just need to thicken it and the bechamel is ready. Well, let's finally collect our lasagna. We collect the meat filling and send it to the bottom of the baking sheet. Distribute it evenly. Then we spread out the dough sheets. Pour in some bechamel sauce. And keep alternating layers to fill out the shape. And then we grate a whole bunch of Parmesan cheese on the top. Put all that into the oven. The lasagna is baked for 40 minutes. That's it, she's ready for us. We cut it into portions. And plate one of those portions. Finally chop some fine basil. Garnish your lasagna with it. And a basil leaf for beauty. This lasagna is much more beautiful than the previous ones. I wonder how it tastes. Yes, this is the most delicious lasagna I've ever tasted. Such a rich meat taste. No minced meat will give such a taste like that, and super delicious egg dough. And if this video gets 200,000 likes, then I will cook in 1 minute, 1 hour, and 1 day even more. Bye everybody!